Good morning everyone. Welcome to the first video of the YouTube channel. Today we got a lot going on. So let's go ahead and start by opening the hood. Oh, this thing is a mess. A mess that I did not make, but that I have to clean up. We have a lot of work to do with this car. This crap is dirty. So much to do. Alright, let's get started. We're going to remove the head. That way we can replace the head gasket. You should never have any type of oil residue. You see, that's dry. That's good. I do want to show you guys. I was going to do a compression and leak down test for you guys, but I'll leave that for next time. So just take my word that I do have a blown head gasket. You guys will see once we take off the head that I truly do have a blown head gasket. Usually you'd have a little bit of milky residue on the oil cap. I had some last time I took it off, but I guess it dried up. I need to take off, I need to drain this coolant actually. Oil, highly advisable. But yes, coolant for sure though. Because when you take off the hoses, so the coolant cap seems to look okay. Not too bad. Alright, so let me drain the coolant real quick. That looks green from here. You can kind of see the color. It's a little bit dark. So yeah, that looks good. So we gotta take off. Gonna drain the radiator right now. Have it all rush out. That way we have no problem there when taking off the radiator hose, and this one. Don't forget this one. That one's there. Alright, so we'll let it drain for a bit there. Still going. This little guy right here. I opened the hood one time and I was like, wait, that's not supposed to be like that. Oh, this car, bro. This freaking car. So while the coolant is almost done draining down there, meanwhile I'm going to go ahead and remove the oil return feed line from the turbo. That's such a bad angle. Let's see, through here. There you go. Right there. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. Okay, so the return line there from the turbo is good to go. So at this point we just have a bunch of other feed lines and hoses to remove. So I have this one, oil feed line, take that off. Upper radiator hose has to go. This little hose that runs into a mock catch can setup there, had to remove that off. I got this hose here, tons of hoses, tons. Then we have this little guy here, connections too. So we have obviously the one to the dizzy, bunch of other ones. There's two back there, those two. Yeah, tons of hoses. So I'll do a quick time lapse of me removing these hoses. I think I'm gonna keep this on. I'll just take it off with the head. It should clear. The turbo comes out about 2 inches into the radiator support. But once I take off the head, I'll have enough wiggle room to get it out like that, so it should be good. Okay, next, more clips and more hoses back here. So most of the hoses and the lines in the front, they're all clear. As I said, I'm gonna keep the exhaust manifold on the head. It'll come out with the head. It'll just be a little heavier, and I'll just have to wiggle some space forward to get it to clear up. But at this point, all the hoses and the clamps are all in the back part of the car now. There's quite a few, and near the transmission as well. At this point, I would highly recommend for you guys to get some masking tape or any type of labeling tape to start to label some things. But I'm just gonna wing it. Everything seems pretty self-explanatory. Hoses shouldn't extend farther than where they're at. But yes, I would highly recommend to start labeling if you want to do so. So, in case in the upcoming videos, when the car is ready to start and it doesn't start, or I have coolant flowing the opposite way, hold me to it. So for the distributor, there are 3 bolts that you have to take off. I already took it off, but one's right there, right? And then the other one is right on top. Let's see, right here, right? And then the top one, it is another bolt that goes through there, because you know the distributor is being bolted onto the head. Just keep in mind that when you're taking it off, this bolt here, the location of where it's at is very important. It sets your timing, your ignition timing. So as you can see, once you take it off, this moves. So for most D series, don't mark me on this, but don't quote me on this, I'm sorry. It's usually right around there. I should have marked it, but we'll find out when we turn on the car. So the problem that you can run into when you turn on the car, and let's say usually about average is right there. Let's say when you turn it on, your idle will sound way off. It's gonna sound like a boxer engine possibly. So just remember that to set the timing, you kind of have to play around with it, wiggle it around. I'm telling you, for most, I believe so, it's gonna be right around there. Not over here, not sideways all the way. I think just a tad bit about there. You can always play around with it. But yeah, that's usually where it's at. Nothing too crazy. Now the timing belt, that's a whole other animal, so I'll show you guys how to do that one. But yes, for the distributor, once you take it off, just keep in mind of where it's at. You can always put a whiteout, you know, put whiteout or something, mark it. Again, I'm not marking it. Yeah, we'll figure it out when we put everything back in. Alright, and this comes out like so. So progress is being made. It's looking way less prettier, but we're that much closer. So dizzy's off. All the sensors and hoses here are off. This coolant line is off. Everyone seems to forget that one. So all that's good. Fuel line as well. Fuel line is the incoming one is off. You know, starts from here, right? Runs through here, plugs in here. I took it off already. Don't forget that O-ring that it has there. So secure that. The return fuel line, right? Any of the fuel that's not used up, it goes back through the return line. So it's this little, you really can't see from here. It's this little nipple here, and this line connects there. So disconnect that, because when you take it off the head, it's gonna stop you. There's that. This other hose right here, it's gone. That connects to the back side of the intake. Speaking of intake, and then this should come right off. Alrighty, the more things you start taking apart, the more access you have to other parts. So right now, I believe the idle air control valve, the notoriously IACV, I think it has a few spots. I think I already took off the sensor. I'm not sure what else I have to take off there. I'll see right now. But yeah, so I'm leaving the intake, so that's staying, as well as the exhaust, as I have stated already. Other than that, oh, yeah. You know the other sensors I told you guys, you know, you guys don't have to label them, up to you. Highly recommended. What I did label are the fuel injectors. So these, I highly suggest you guys labeling them. So as you can see, that's 2, this is 1, etc, etc. Where's the other one? 3 and 4, right? 4 and then 3. So yeah, so do label those. Once you label those, just pull them back, tuck them behind, and then your injectors should be exposed. Double check the IACV. Let me see if there's anything else behind there. I know there's more wires running underneath the block, but we're not concerned about that right now. Yeah, and then after that, valve cover and all the good stuff there. I went ahead and also removed the throttle cable. Just take it off from the bracket. You see these two? They bolt on there. I went ahead and put the bolts back just to not lose the bolts. And the little cable, you just unwind it. You just pull it back. The actual throttle cable. I mean just pull this back. Once you pull it back, it has this little hole right here. Yeah, you just unwind it because the wire wraps around, the cable wraps around through here. There's a little groove right here in the middle. So you just unwind it and then you pull it out from here. That's all you do. This little cylinder, you just take it out from the little hole that's located on the actual handle of the throttle body. Everything seems to check out fine until it doesn't. We'll find out when we pull the head. Yeah, everything that seems to be that's holding the head back is now separated. So the only thing now is valve cover and start undoing all the head bolts and stuff. But before that, I'm gonna go ahead and take off the driver front tire to get access to the crankshaft pulley and put everything in time. So let me do this first real quick. This is crazy how much this thing is leaking oil. I think some of these, last time I checked it, I think they have, I believe they're called heli coils or Healy coils. I've never heard of them, and I don't like them. It's going to be something we're assessing, which is my suspicion why it has so much gunk and oil on this side right here. Because as you guys can see, it didn't even take a lot for me to take these damn things off. Ton of oil. I think this one is also busted. It has that heli coil, Healy coil. However the hell it's supposed to be put. Yeah, you see? Look at this. That's annoying. Back on track. Okay, so once you take off the wheel and the tire, that right there, let's go ahead and zoom in real quick. That's a zip tie holding the bumper. Zip ties basically hold the whole Civic down. We're gonna go ahead and access the crankshaft pulley, right? Which is that guy right there, the bolt, right? So that bolt, you're gonna go ahead and attach a 17 millimeter and however many extensions you need. In this case, I have 3. You should only need 1. If you actually had a, I don't know, maybe a 12-inch extension, 10-inch, you should be good to go. So Honda's D series, B series, I'm not sure about K series, they spin counterclockwise, so opposite. So clock rotates that way, these engines rotate that way. You just go ahead and rotate it as you please. But when we look on top, this is your cam gear, right? See that little arrow? Some long time ago, some owner of this car went ahead and put an arrow. On that arrow, it actually says up right on top of it. Okay, so basically that part of the cam gear has to be facing up. Not only does that part of the cam gear have to be facing up, but there are also 2 other horizontal markers, side markers, that are supposed to line up with the head. Now, I do have the car lifted up, so it's gonna be a little hard to see those markings, but I'll try to show you guys. So let me go ahead and rotate the crank. That way we have at least somewhat close the up arrow, but we have to have it perfect, because there are also I don't think at this point you can't see them no more. No, okay. So that crank pulley down there, yeah, we're gonna be paying a lot of attention to that one. But let me go ahead and rotate it first. Let me do that, and then I'll get back to you guys here on top. Let's go ahead and rotate it. Sometimes some of these turns might be a little harder than the other ones. That's because sometimes it's on the compression stroke. Okay, we still got more. Subi Nation. Okay, so we're getting pretty close there. We have almost rotated it completely a full circle. Now I'm slowing down because down there, that little white triangle there are certain lines on the actual crankshaft pulley that you have to line up, specifically one. There's a set of 3 line marks in chronological order. They're like one after the other after the other. They're like bunched up together. Yeah, don't line up any of those with this little white triangle. There is one single line mark on the crankshaft pulley that you have to line up almost in the middle of this white triangle. Once you line up that, then you know that your engine is at TDC. You have cylinder 1 at TDC. And once you have that lined up, the actual arrow on the cam pulley will turn a little more to the left, and those little markings on the side of the cam pulley will also line up with the head. So I'm going to rotate it a little more. It's kind of hard to see that actual line mark. They have to line it up with the little white triangle, but I see it. So a little more. A little more. And I went over. Crap. Okay. All right. A little more. A little more. Maybe like a hair. That's it. That looks spot on to me. Okay, so that little line right there, it looks off from here, but trust me, it's in line. I have the camera tilted to the right a bit. So, but trust me, it is in line. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Some people just remove the head without setting the head at TDC, and that's fine. But I set it at TDC for peace of mind. But it's not as important as when you're going to install the head. For sure, 100%, 110%, you need to set the head and block at TDC. That way you don't have a piston going up when the valves are going down, because that's going to be catastrophic. Let's go ahead and start removing all the interior engine bolts. Getting a little windy, so hopefully the audio is still solid. But yeah, so valve cover is off, timing belt is off. I'm going to go ahead and get a new one. You're always welcome to use the same one. Something like that, I wouldn't risk it. You know, chances are that it'll be good, but I'll just get a new one. So that's that. So at this point, cam can stay, the whole girdle and everything can stay. You just need to take off the head bolts. There's 10 in total, so it's right to left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Jeez, can't see from here. 2, yeah, 2, 3, 4, 4, and 5. So for that, you're gonna need a 14 millimeter. These are 14 millimeter. The first one, there's 10. It's going to be, the pattern is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's do this one first. Get an extension. Alright, so first one here. Alright, so after round 1, just go ahead and go again. All in the same order. So at this point, when they're all broken loose, just go ahead and give all of them an equal turn. You never want to loosen up just one completely, because your chances of warping the head are very high if it's not already warped from the head gasket. Okay, so once they're all loose, just go ahead and take them out. This point you can take them out one by one. You can keep track of them once you set them down. It's very windy. Unwindy. There you go. And this is number 1. Okay, so I already took out number 1. Number 2 and the rest are all the same procedure. Just go ahead and take them out by hand. There you go. That's how you take out number 2. Just like that. Number 2. Just 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 left. That's it. Damn, it's windy. But anyways, so yeah, all the head bolts are out. Go ahead and get this thing out. Oh my gosh, I'm a dumbass. The intercooler piping. Alright, so I pulled it out. I'm trying to go back up, but it's being hesitant, and then I just found out why. I still have this part of the intercooler piping connected, so I'm gonna disconnect that real quick. No, from there.